What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I'm going to talk about if Spider-Man will be in Marvel's Avengers. So this is a topic that I've talked about a little bit in the past, mainly actually shutting it down, saying that I don't think it's going to happen. And I still, in the back of my head, still kind of feel that, but I do want to talk about the possibility, because honestly, there is a possibility. There's a really big possibility even, and the possibility came from the most recent, the War Table event that they had back in late June, when they had the new trailer, new gameplay, and in that mission that they showed with Thor, fighting all the mechs basically, or the robots, that reporter was from the Daily Bugle. So no, this is not. And by the way, I understand this is obviously very old. A lot of people have talked about this before me. So I saw that, and I thought kind of the same thing a lot of people are thinking as well. That okay, the Daily Bugle exists in this world, so does that mean Spider-Man exists in the world? For me, it's just confusing because I'm not going to pretend to be an expert in terms of these licenses and how these different things work. Obviously, Spider-Man, Marvel's Spider-Man, is a PlayStation exclusive game. Okay, PS4 exclusive. Insomniac was the one making it. Now, they were not owned by Sony when they were by PlayStation, whatever you want to say. They were not owned when they made that, right? Those were like an agreement. Sony obviously bought Insomniac. Insomniac is obviously making more Spider-Man games, but it's because of that Sony Spider-Man connection that it's exclusive. Okay, Spider-Man is not going to make its way onto other consoles. Okay, I mean, just flat out, that's not going to happen. With Marvel's Avengers, obviously, we've seen them. They're going to more of the original cast, right? Besides Hawkeye, but like I've said in the past, I think he'll be added first. They have the possibility of obviously adding to it, and they're going to add new characters to it over time. I think Scarlet Witch would be a fantastic idea. People have said Black Panther. Obviously, I think Captain Marvel will probably be in addition as well. So, I mean, there's going to be characters put into this game. The question is, does Spider-Man make its way? Does Spider-Man, I guess, make its way into the additional content, like when they put people in? Is he a character that's maybe in the game that they're hiding? Is he somebody that maybe they set up at the end to be in like a second Avengers? Does the world of Marvel's Spider-Man, is that the same universe as this game? There has been people that said, like, yes, that is going to be the case, but we haven't gotten a flat out, like, a actual answer from them yet. But again, I think mainly because like the licensing stuff, I just don't know how it all, like, if you guys know, by the way, like, stop me right now, like, pause the video, type it out, let me know. Obviously, I can't stop recording it, but let me know if you guys know something that I don't. I would assume it's kind of just like the movies, where, like, they could just make a deal where, okay, Spider-Man's allowed to be, like, he's going to be in his own games, he'll be PlayStation exclusive, but he can appear in these spin-off, I mean, in this case, it's literally an Avengers game, but technically it came after, like, Spider-Man came first in terms of which game released first, so he can appear there. They can allow that. It'll obviously be on more consoles than PlayStation, but if you want to play a Spider-Man only game or a Miles Morales game or whatever, it's going to be only on PlayStation consoles. You know what I mean? If that's the case, then I think it's not only a good idea, but it's something you kind of have to do, don't you? If you're making and by the way, like I've said, I always have thought this. I mean, obviously, Spider-Man is a very important character. He can carry a franchise, as we've seen in movies, as we've seen in the video game. I mean, look at what Spider-Man did for PS4. I mean, it sold insane. It sold the PlayStation 4 at a time that, I mean, it already had sold, right? The PlayStation 4 had already done extremely, extremely well. So you had Spider-Man do even better, right? So it's obviously, Spider-Man's a character that can carry himself. He can obviously work in really, really well with others. He obviously makes a ton of sense to be in an Avengers game, right? Obviously, he made his way into the movies. So it's not a question of should he be in it. He should. He absolutely should. It's will he? Like, is this something that actually can happen? Will he be in this game? I think the more I think about it, the more with the Daily Bugle stuff, the more that I think, okay, well, if there is an agreement in place just kind of behind the scenes that Spider-Man can appear, why not? Why don't you do something like that where he would work really well? Now, the question would be, it is a different kind of game, so it's not going to feel like the Spider-Man games. In fact, honestly, I feel like it would be worse. It would feel worse than the Spider-Man games, but you'd have him in there. It would be something special. Now, again, is it the same Spider-Man? Is it the same universe as what we've already played? Is it going to be the same voice actor? Is it going to be the same age? Are you going to be playing it, like, is it around the same time? Because we know in the Spider-Man game, he's been Spider-Man for quite a while, right? He's locked up a lot of villains. He's older, right? He's in like his early 20s. He's not in high school. He's not a kid. So you have that situation going on. Is it him? Is it that one in this Marvel game, in the Marvel Avengers? I think it should be. I don't think you would want to make it confusing where it's just its own thing. Because again, if you make it like its own thing, well, how, why, Like, where are you going to go with that Spider-Man? Why would you do something like that? So I don't think that would be the case. I want it. I want it just as much as everybody else. Obviously, I've talked about in past videos, I've said, like, characters I want added to this game. And I don't say Spider-Man in that list or any of those lists because I just never really gave it credit for, like, this is something that could possibly happen. I mean, I tried to go with characters I think would just be easier in that way, right? Spider-Man obviously would be one of the easiest to put into. I'm not saying he wouldn't be easy, but in terms of contract, in terms of, like, legal stuff, how difficult is it actually? I don't have the answers to that. So I'm hoping he's in the game. I feel like the possibility, again, has gone up. I think it's definitely higher now than it was a month and a half ago. I think if you asked me, I would say I would feel like they would lean more towards making him be part of the game, but really hiding him right now, like where we don't know. Maybe he appears at the end. Maybe they make references to him where he could appear in a second game. I don't know if he'd be a DLC character. It'll be interesting. Like I've always said, with the additional characters they add, what is the motivation behind it? You know what I mean? Do they do Captain Marvel because her movie was like somewhat more recent, right? Obviously, like right before Avengers Endgame. Like, do they do something like that? Scarlet Witch, do they do that because she's still technically part of it? Like, she's still around. She's in WandaVision. Like, is that something that influenced? Like, again, I understand they're doing their own thing. They don't want to be a part of the TV shows. They don't want to be a part of the movies. They're trying to be separate. But does that influence it? Is all I'm saying. Is does the popularity of what the characters are doing? Because it's not like I understand like the show would be going up the same time as the game, but like they knew the show was going on when they're making the game. You know what I mean? So like we knew the show was coming for quite some time. They could still be like developing a Wanda character for this game that they're going to add in DLC later. And you know what I mean? And they would know that, people are really interested in the show. So again, like, does that have anything to do with it? If it does, Spider-Man also does fit, right? Because the Spider-Man game, you have Miles Morales coming out probably just a few months after, which Spider-Man's kind of like the mentor character there. You have 2 Spider-Man films already out, third one starting filming in the fall. So like, there's a lot that it's going to start. So that you have a lot of things going on with Spider-Man. Obviously, the popularity is there, and you don't even need recent examples to tell you that Spider-Man is popular. You know what I mean? So it'll be really interesting. We'll have to see what their strategy is with introducing DLC characters. That's kind of why, and also because he is such an important character, I would argue more important than Wanda, more important than any DLC characters they throw in. And again, not to kind of discredit them, but maybe you then the characters that are bigger, maybe you introduce in the game that are just hidden that maybe appear in a second game. I feel like they would want to make more Avengers games. Will they be able to? I mean, that's another thing. We'll definitely have to see how this game does. But I feel like Spider-Man is a character that would probably work better if he was built into the base game or hinted at or kind of like started and then they'll continue him off in the next game versus adding him in as DLC. But again, they talk about how the story is going to continue. So when these characters get added, they're going to have their own story with them. That it's going to make sense why they're part of the group. So that could also work. I mean, you know what I mean? That could actually make fleshing him out as a character, like more exploring him, that could actually make it even better. So again, we'll just have to see what they end up doing. Guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think Spider-Man will be in Marvel's Avengers? Should he be in it? Will he be in it? All those questions, let me know in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. And also, join our Discord. Our Discord link will be in the description below. We talk about a lot of different things there, including we have an entire category talking about this Avengers game. So if you like talking about it, both the positives and the negatives, lots of people there very willing to talk about the game with you, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.